also need the panelists here to respond to, especially from the gentleman here who has asked in terms of tax literacy amongst the citizens, but there is a question around the informal traders being the perpetrators of corruption. There's a question around engagement of ZAC, which I think benevolence from TIZ's perspective, you can also speak to this as well. But I think the issue, so when we're talking about tax, it's a very technical issue. A very, difficult issue, I'm sure, for the citizens to really understand and to question. And this is the purpose why, as civil society organizations and also as an alliance of the Fight Inequality Alliance, we've tried to break this down in graphics, in simplified flyers, in our local languages, in our contemporary languages, so that we catch up with everyone in terms of trying to ensure that the citizens do understand the impact of the purpose of tax, the impact of overtaxation, and how a progressive tax system should look like, which is why we then link that if resources have been collected, there must be gender responsive public services. As an example, we must have public services that respond to the disability, that respond to rural communities, that respond to residents living in urban areas, as examples. So we try to always put in that link and where that intersects. But I want to say there is still a lot of work that has to be done, because in many cases, I think Zimbabweans have got a lot of issues to be dealing with, and I think the issue of tax is not really necessarily one of them, because of the nature of the subject of tax, the subject of taxation, the subject generally of the economy and of the economics. And I just want to say, but that does not mean that we don't have to do anything. I think the politics of language and how the perpetrators of injustices continue to use technical language, continue to exclude the people that bear the brunt, is something that we have to challenge. The issue of tax must be simplified. From the government perspective, they must ensure that people understand what these taxes are all about. They must break it down to them and not make it a technical issue that is only for experts, that is only for the technocrats, that is only for Janet, that is only for Samuel, but it must be made a citizen's subject. And I think this is why we also have to challenge language. If we do not understand it, we should be challenging and saying whatever we produce, it must be usable by the citizens. They must be able to engage with it. They must be able to participate and share their daily lived experiences given that particular subject. So it's something that we have to continue to challenge. Engagement with ZAC, I think that is always ongoing. As an alliance, we haven't begun engagements as an alliance per se, but alliance members like TIZ, like ZimCode, and many others, I'm sure, either they are sitting on different subcommittees of the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, pushing for different things. I know that, for example, ZimCode is a member of FIA, sits in subcommittee 3, which is trying to enhance citizen rejection of corruption, dealing with issues of integrity pledges and the like. TIZ sits on the National Steering Committee, engaging as well to ensure that ZAC begins to do the work. We know, for example, that last year they spent $33 million towards fighting corruption. And the question to us is, so did it go to waste? How many arrests did you make? How many prosecutions did you make? How many recoveries of those assets did you make? Those are the questions that we begin to ask and engage ZAC on, in terms of ensuring that it has got the capacity, but it is responsive, and ensuring that we finish the cycle of those arrests. If there's an arrest, then someone has to be prosecuted, then someone has to be in prison, then we have to have the recovery of that loot. So there's a cycle that we're trying to push and engaging ZAC on, to ensure that we have a full cycle that deals with corruption, which has perpetuated the inequalities that we're talking about. Let me give to Benevolence from TIZ and from Samuel to also respond. It's on the corruption issue and now the informal trade, and also more further on the engagement with ZAC as well.
And the response, the public response as well.
I can start.
Yeah.
Afternoon once again, colleagues. Okay, let me start with the issue of response of the public to the Inequality campaign. Us as a member of the Inequality Alliance, we have been having community meetings, we have been having quite a lot of campaigns on social media, etc., different platforms. the response that we have noted really is the public is interested in getting more information, in getting knowledge, and also in getting strategies, ideas, how can they contribute to the cause. So I think the momentum really is good. What we need to continue doing is to continue empowering and capacitating with more information and knowledge, so that even the strategies and possible solutions, so to speak, they can even come from us as citizens. And then coming to the question raised about engagement with ZAG in tracking corruption issues. As Transparency International Zimbabwe, we have a working relationship with the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission. What I can acknowledge and confirm is that the Commission indeed is aware of the challenges, our concerns, including yours, and they do acknowledge that, yes, you are raising this is genuine, but they also have their challenges and limitations, which the chairperson is always saying, and they're in the public domain. But then we do not tire in continuing to push for improvements, because there's still room for improvement, and there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Thank you.
That's nothing can be further from the truth. I think Janet tried to simplify the example that he gave about Samuel and Chivayo. Look, it's deliberate that local authorities do not want to organize the informal economy. I can tell you there are millions of dollars that are circulating every day in the informal economy. And the country stands to benefit if the informal economy is properly organized. But from what we've been gathering since 2013, when we said the organization that I come from started working, doing advocacy work around the informal economy, there is a deliberate effort not to organize the informal economy. Not only by local authorities, but even by the central government. The confusion that you see between pronouncements by the Minister of Local Government on one end, the Minister of Women Affairs, Community and SMEs Development, the Minister of Public Service, on issues to do with the informal economy, are, in my view, deliberate, because they don't want to have that sector really organized so that we can curtail the corruption that we see on a daily basis. I'll give you the example of an animal called dispersed barons here in Harare. They are the people who control almost everything in Bari. But if you track those people, where are those people coming from? Unoswika pama directors at townhouse. You get to directors in certain ministry. The corruption is so organized that you can easily see it have nothing to do with the street vendor. It have got nothing to do with an informal trader, but everything to do with the bureaucrats in key offices, in ministries, in local authorities, and other important institutions that we have in this country. So it's not true that informal traders are the champions of corruption or they are perpetuating corruption. If anything, they are trying to curtail corruption, and the evidence is there when our members are trying to dissuade some, law officers, municipal